Mic check. Mic check. This is a microphone check. Action. You're in the right place, brothers and sisters. Let's go! I'm so hyped! You're in the right place, brothers and sisters. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Chris. If you're new here, I cover MK7 GTI content. Obviously, anything car related we're going to cover here in the channel. So if that's something that you're interested in or something that you want to see and you want to see more of, consider subscribing. It takes 2 seconds. Drop a like if you like the video at the end. But anyway, let's get to it. So today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make 350-ish horsepower off of your MK7 GTI, off full bolt-ons, relatively off of what I'm saying could make 350 wheel, off of everything I've put together and analyzed all the data. So let's get into it. Start off the video. Sorry about the lighting. It's a little bit dark in here. I got a little bit of lighting over here. Hopefully it helps. Sorry if it's a little bit dark. Let's get right into it. So I've seen, I've reviewed a lot of videos looking at the top 5 supporting mods and the worst mods for GTI. So I figured I'd twist it a little bit and I'd give you what I have on my car that is making this power. So that's what works, and I figured that's probably a little bit easier than kind of like, you get this, maybe it'll work, you get that, maybe it'll work, you don't really know. Let's dive right into it. So to start off, I made a list of everything, and I broke down price and power gains, what they say quoted from factory, and yeah, whatever they claim to be beneficial from you modifying it. So right at the top of the list, we're gonna talk about the CTS intake that I installed not too long ago. It is an open filter, not a closed filter, which technically on the MK7 platform, everybody says you should be running closed filter because you can spike temps a tiny bit more than what you are. I haven't noticed a huge difference. I also live in a different climate. I live up here in New Hampshire and Vermont, so it's never really that hot here to the point where you have to worry about it. But regardless, it gets you a little bit better sound too with the open filter. So the CTS intake runs for $329. On their website, they claim 10 to 15 horsepower off of what they say is just a stock GTI. Like, you literally pull the airbox, you plop this in, and you run it. You should gain 10 to 15 horsepower. My personal experience, I put it in after a couple of these other things, so I can't contest that completely. But the one thing I noticed is low end. It spooled a lot faster. It gave you a little bit more low end. Yeah, it just spooled low end a lot faster. It's not so much that it spools any lower, it just spools faster. So like that lag that's there, the tiny bit of lag is adjusted, makes it better. They claim 10 to 15 horsepower off of that. Is 3.5-inch tubing with a 4-inch filter. Reusable filter, washable. Think for the price and the way it looks super clean. It's just the red filter, it comes out super well. It's got the matte black tubing, so it just kind of, I don't know, it almost looks OEM plus with the filter. I think it looks really good. Effectively, good mod. 2. I did the CTS. By the way, this is in no this is in no specific order. This is just how I listed the main things that are contributing to power. Yeah, 2. I did the CTS turbo muffler delete, which has only a contributing factor if you pair that with one of the other mods, which is the CTS turbo inlet pipe. So I think together those kind of go hand in hand. They're doing the same thing on opposite ends, if that makes sense. They go hand in hand. So the muffler delete goes for $79, and everything online quotes for faster spool time, and it just gives you good turbo sounds. I mean, it gets rid of, it gives you that little bit of whistle, like when you let off the throttle and then your car is idling down, it gives you that little bit of the whistle at the end. I noticed that immediately. And who doesn't love turbo sounds, my bro? Obviously everybody. And then that paired with the CTS turbo inlet pipe, I think is the only thing that actually makes a difference. If you got a stock GTI and you put a muffler delete or an inlet pipe on it, you're not really gonna notice effectively. I think all of the top 3 I just listed off kind of go all together. If you put the muffler delete with no intake mods, you're probably gonna notice honestly nothing at all. maybe a tiny bit spool, but that's about it. So $79. Also quotes faster spool time, lower end, and a lot higher airflow. If you look at the tubes, let me apologize for my mechanical terminology. It's not the best. Anyway, if you look at the tubing size, the stock is almost super restrictive. It's tiny at the top and it gets even smaller at the bottom. So the CTS intake essentially makes it all one size right down and funnels it into the inlet side. And effectively that paired with your intake and your turbo muffler delete is just sending free flowing air all the way through. There's nothing restricting it. It's essentially more free flowing. And all that together I think gives you like the best turbo noises on a GTI. So stock, I don't think you really, like, you notice it obviously if you've never had a turboed car. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing, oh my god, my spoolie boy's so fat. Ah! It's nothing crazy. So effectively all these together I think make a gigantic difference. And inlet side of your engine, if you're running all of that with variations of, you could do like a drop-in filter with a silicone pipe to delete the stock airbox pipe into the turbo inlet. That's a lot cheaper of an alternative. I think a drop-in filter, don't quote me, I want to say it's like 60 bucks, not even. 60 bucks for a drop-in filter. The tube, I want to say is like $30 or $40. So that's a really cheap alternative that I ran for a while for a intake setup. And there's actually a little snow catch underneath your airbox filter. If you pull that, drop in that filter and attach the tube and Dremel out on the intake side. Everybody that has a GTI knows what I'm talking about. On the Mark 7 it has the inlet side underneath the hood where it goes in and it scoops in the air. If you go to the other side and you Dremel that out, because that's actually closed off, it allows a little bit more air in. But besides all that, effectively altogether, intake side is a super good way to get as much air flowing in freely as possible and as less restrictive as you can possibly get it. And these are just bolt-ons. We're not talking anything other than these simple, you buy it, maybe 20-30 minute install, give or take a couple of these. And so boom, moving on. We got the CTS Catless downpipe. So I don't know about the catted downpipe. I ran that for, I want to say like a month, and it wasn't quite as loud as I wanted. So I sold that and then got the Catless downpipe. And originally I had an M8 Performance catted downpipe, so I don't know the specs on that. I don't quite remember. It was almost a year and a half ago. But I've been running the CTS Catless downpipe ever since. It goes for $450, and they don't claim anything power-wise on the website, but it says it's made out of 3-inch tubing, so that paired with everything else, think about it, you got a 3.5-inch intake that's free flowing all the way through, and you cleaned up everything else, and that's going straight into a Catless downpipe. So essentially you're just cleaning up everything, because if you don't know this and you haven't done it yet, the stock downpipe on its Mark 7 GTI is the most restrictive thing you could possibly have. The cat on the top is like a giant cylinder, and then it's got another, I want to say it's a smaller resonator down at the bottom. The whole thing is extremely restrictive. Yeah, little bonus here, if you're looking to get a lot of sound out of your GTI, don't touch anything cat back first. Get a Catless downpipe, try that out, or a high flow catted downpipe. There's not a big difference in the two, but try that first and then work backwards, because everything coming down from your downpipe stock is so restrictive. You want to clean that out. If you put a Catless or a catted downpipe in there, it makes a gigantic difference, and it sounds way better, and it's way actually cheaper than buying a whole catback exhaust system and being disappointed, because trust me, I got lucky when I bought the car. It had the what I'm going to go over, the Magnaflow exhaust system, and it sounded okay, but I almost thought that it was stock because I couldn't tell that it was aftermarket until like a couple days of driving it, and I looked at it and got it home and checked everything else out. But running a catback, it doesn't make any difference unless you touch the downpipe, which is most of any 4-cylinder turbo cars. But if you didn't know that, little bonus, skip the catback, start with downpipe, makes more power, sounds way better. Got it. Made 3-inch tubing, so you're free flowing, and it just claims a lot. It doesn't claim certain power. It says proven torque, proven horsepower. Obviously that's common sense because you're free flowing. And then that paired with my EQ Tune Stage 2 from Equilibrium Tuning is $175. Keep in mind, I have a manual. I don't have the DSG. If you have a DSG, then you're gonna have better things and worse things. Worse things because you gotta tune the trans as well as the ECU. So you run into being a lot more expensive, but the clutch is way better and way more reliable out of the DSG than it is in the manual, which I'll get to in a second. The Stage 2 tune, altogether, they just do an ECU flash tune off of the Cobb access port, which is super helpful because it works together. And so if you have a Cobb access port, it directly flashes to that. You just download it, and after you purchase it, they email it to you, and then you upload it. Easy as that. If you know how access ports work, easy as that. You know how it is. So you flash that. Any of their tunes, Stage 1, 2, 2 plus, whatever you're running, 93, 91, all of it's $175. You go through, you get a choice of, I want to say, launch control, burble tune, and a couple other small changes that you can do yourself, as well as you can ask for specific things from them. Well, I don't know why that bothers me. Like, there has to be something there. If it's just dark, I feel weird. Sick. So yeah, you just go through it and you click everything that you want for the ECU, and then you purchase that. That goes to them. They take into consideration any changes that you want or anything you put in there, and then they send that right back to you in an e-file, and you upload that to your Cobb access port, and that's just their flash tune. They also do a custom e-tune where you can go back and forth and you can zero in exactly what you're looking for in your tune, and that works super well with you. Now if you have the DSG, they have the same thing. I don't remember pricing for that, but it has the DSG tune as well as your ECU flash. You do both of them, and it's better shifting responses, faster shifts, and yeah, I don't know a lot about DSG, but one more. Boom. 5. So I have the Magnaflow exhaust, which goes for $697.56. But I got lucky because when I bought this from the dealership, it already had it on it and it was brand new. So that was pretty cool. I got lucky with that. I didn't have to go down the road of struggling with a cat back. It's a 3-inch system all the way through, and then it tapers down into 2.5 inch out of a 4-inch tip. At the end, it's a super clean sound. It sounds super good. It's just one high flow muffler. There's no resonators. I think that paired with the Catless downpipe is just like the perfect volume. It sounds super good. I had messed with mine and did some custom things. I wish I hadn't done that. It was kind of annoying because now I'm gonna end up getting a whole new catback system, which I wanted to do anyway and get my own and just experiment with how it sounds down the road for the channel. But until then, it sounds good. It's a perfect sound. It's smooth, it's deep, it's not raspy, it doesn't drone. It's perfect. With a Catless downpipe, it might drone a little bit, depends on your definition of drone. Like, I don't really care because I don't matter, but then some people ride my car and they're like, oh, this is awful. Whatever. Things to keep in mind. All of this put together, what you should be doing before you do any of this. Before you do any of this at all, give or take a couple of the small mods, the intake stuff, obviously. If you're gonna tune it and you're gonna go anything past stock and you plan to tune it, do the clutch. Do the clutch right away. If you plan to do it, don't even waste a small amount of money on the muffler delete, intake pipe. Don't do any of that. Do the clutch. I promise you, the stock clutch on the manual GTI is garbage. Absolutely trash. It doesn't hold anything more than stock power. You can go stage one on like a 91 tune and it slips, like top end. So that's stage 1. Say nothing about like a stage 2 plus where I'm running like 28 to 29 peak pounds boost. Like, it's awful. I am kind of holding off a little bit to get the clutch put in, and that's obviously next. So stay tuned for that. If you want to see that, subscribe because there's a lot more to come. But anyway, I love this car, bro. Just to put on a side note, I love this car. It's pretty great. But yeah, so do the clutch. If you plan on tuning it at all, just do the clutch. It's expensive, but if you get it out of the way, you don't have to worry about it. If you go with a stage 2 clutch or a heavy puck clutch right off the bat, you don't have to worry about it down the road. You don't have to keep changing it. Mine is like holding on, well, like by threads. It slips all the time. It's terrible. I feel terrible, but like as soon as I get it in, it'll be a lot better. Get your clutch done, people. Get it done. It's completely necessary. If you have the DSG, don't quote me on that. I don't know how much power it's quoted to hold off of tuning it. I know it's a lot more than the manual and it's a lot better. But why not mod it up, bro? Did we cover everything? I think so. I think we covered everything. So let's get down to business. Talking to my dog, she's my consultant. Rebate. So with that, if you made it to this point of the video, if you found any of this helpful to you at all in any way, leave a like. If you want to see more from my channel, check out my other videos. I got lots more coming. I'm trying to post at least twice a week for you guys, upload as much as I can, give you the best content so you can enjoy this as much as I do. I want you to feel like you're right here with me, bro, going hand in hand, gear by gear, boost for boost, bro. Let's go! I'm so hyped over nothing because I'm sitting at a desk and I want to be out there driving. So if you want more of that, subscribe to my channel. It takes 2 seconds. You're gonna help me out a lot more. I want to grow the channel. I want to give better content for you guys and hopefully get another car coming on the channel and grow through, and we're gonna do this together, guys. I want to do this for you, give you the best content. This is what I was meant to do. I was meant to create things and make videos, and that's what I want to do. So let's do it together. Shout out my MK7 GTI homies. I hope this helped you in some increment of way. Shout out to the future people who are gonna get a GTI. Shout out to the people who like boost, who like driving fast. All right, guys. Other than that, that's it. I hope this video was good for you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.